Welcome into another fun Friday edition of The Meltdown. On the show today, most of us, including everyone in this room currently, has seen the Bikeriders. Did it rev our engines? And will it lead to an all-time great edition of Luntz's List? We will see. Another edition of Hot or Cold. We'll see our panel asked about a number of different trending topics in the entertainment industry. Are we hot or cold on the new Penguin trailer? A horror movie starring Brandy and the potential resurgence of Jonathan Majors? Stick around to find out. And what got pulled out of the Dune popcorn bucket for our latest retro trailer reaction? I think Laurel will approve. It's all happening right here on The Meltdown, as we are presented by MyBookie, broadcasting live from the Culver studio.
Two big boys in a tiny studio, teaching you and me about everything they know to make sound. A meltdown, it's the meltdown, time for the meltdown, coming for the meltdown, let's start the show.
To all of our lovely and loyal Meltdonians, we appreciate you being here with us on this Friday, the 21st day of June of 2024. And we are very excited about what is to come here on the show today, as we have a panel meant to impress. We appreciate all of you being a part of this journey that we call The Meltdown, as we're looking to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the summer season. We appreciate you, especially over the weekend, hitting that subscribe button and making sure you're a part of all the fun that we have going on here. John, it was a very fun edition of Meltdown Arcade just one day ago. John Lunsford, my co-host, everybody. Go around, search here. Where could he be? I don't know if he'll find... There he is. John Lunsford. It was a fun time yesterday playing some Star Wars pinball, playing some Mario Kart, and playing some Mario Party.
Yeah, the pinball was really fun because I just absolutely destroyed everybody.
You did.
Mario Kart was okay, except for we kept losing to the computer, so it made us tie each other for first between actual people. And then the Mario Party was not so much fun.
Tyler ended up, at the end, bamboozling his way to the win, and that's okay. Tyler, I'm not salty about it. I'm actually proud of you, because 1 week ago you suffered your worst defeat in the history of Meltdown Arcade, playing some soccer, and this week you bounced back.
I'm also ready for a rematch, John.
We're going to have to make this happen.
Hey, screw Madden and college football. We need this a FIFA league that's just Tyler and I going at it, and the occasional matchup with Tim and nobody else plays, but it'll be fun.
I feel like me and EG need to be worked in there somehow into this bracket. Yeah. That's somewhat fair. Maybe I get...
Y'all start in the consolation bracket?
Maybe so. Maybe so. It is a fun time here on The Meltdown. John, I want to go ahead and get this out of the way.
Okay.
We went to go see the Bikeriders last night. Laurel was there. Tyler saw it a few days ago. What is your overall take on the Bikeriders? I do not plan on us shooting a review of the Bikeriders because I don't really want to talk about it more than I have to. But what was your biggest takeaway from the film?
For a movie that you go in assuming is about a biker gang that's going to get rough and rowdy, I slept through like 40 minutes of it because it was so boring. And I was in and out. Laurel kept hitting me the whole time because I was snoring, because I do snore.
And then I fell asleep a few times.
And then Laurel started falling asleep. And so I did watch the majority of the movie, but it was...
Wait, hold on. 40 minutes minus...
Of 2 hours. I did watch the majority of the movie. Okay. And I was in and out during that 40 minutes. But, yeah, it's not much. For a movie about a biker gang that's going to have a bunch of violence, it wasn't much.
If you had seen it before me, I would have been like, oh, John, there's no way it's that bad. You probably were just exhausted and didn't give it a fair chance. I stayed awake the whole entire time, unfortunately, and I saw the Bikeriders. Mm-hmm. It is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I've been all about it. I've been asking about it months in advance. What do you think about the Bikeriders? Think it's going to be good? Oh my gosh, the Bikeriders. I think it has the pedigree to be great.
Whoops.
A hollow, empty experience. Characters that I never connected with doing mostly detestable things. Mm-hmm. None, and I mean none, of the side characters feel important at all in this movie. They are all completely disposable. Mm-hmm. It's an infinitely revolving set of goons that continue to get either more dumb or more destructive throughout. Very few meaningful consequences for any decisions or actions that are made in this movie. Everything just keeps getting more watered down throughout the runtime of the film. It's got a messy timeline of events. Nothing about the acting performances feel authentic or connective, including what are supposed to be the most emotionally driven scenes. I wanted to laugh a couple of times where things are supposed to be really dramatic, and you're like, I wanted to laugh at some of the things I was seeing on screen. And the motorcycles themselves are never given a chance to feel very cool with the way they're either shot or the way they're represented. It doesn't make you want to go jump out on a hog. No. It really doesn't.
No. Like, I started watching this movie, by the way, thanks to James Stallings, becoming our second ever loyal Meltdonian. Don't want to skip past that.
Welcome to the Meltdown Motorcycle Club, James. Appreciate you being here.
Hey, James!
I sat there for the first part thinking, like, this is our poker club. Like, this is our version of our outlaw gang, you know, the primetime poker club. And then I started watching. I was like, we're cooler than these people.
Are.
Like, these
people are not rejects.
These are not the kind of people that's like, oh, that's cool, I want to be a part of them. These are like the rejects, and it's like, I don't really know why I care to watch.
They all need a shower.
They do.
They fight, and then nothing occurs after the fight other than let's grab a beer.
Part of the thing you mentioned, the side characters don't mean anything. Like, two people coming in, I thought these people could be good in this movie. I mean, you know, Tom Hardy and Austin Butler are the two main guys, but like Norman Reedus and Michael Shannon, I feel like going in, it's like those two people could be like the good, kind of older, rougher guys. They had no reason to even be in the movie. Like,
I liked both of their performances.
They were just there. Like, Michael Shannon gave one halfway decent monologue about trying to go to Vietnam, and outside of that,
was way more interesting than anything else that happened in the movie.
Correct. And I'm like, I want to know more about that. I want to see just an origin story on this guy because he didn't really do anything else in the movie.
Mike Faced, completely wasted in this movie.
Yeah.
Nothing to do other than tell me more about that.
That's exactly what he did.
Me, and
after coming off such a good movie with Challengers and West Side Story, by the way.
What did you think about that?
Yeah. Mike Faced, who's one of the main characters in West Side Story when it comes to the gang aspect, which is incredible. I mean, the originals were incredible.
And what did I say the minute the movie ended? I said, anybody who thinks that this is a better movie than Steven Spielberg's West Side Story is crazy.
West Side Story, the story of West Side Story is perfect anyway. I've seen it in play form. I've seen the old movie. They're all perfect. And the Spielberg version was maybe even better. But he was one of the one of the main characters in that movie, and it was good. And he comes into this one, it's like between that and Challengers, the two probably big things everybody's seen him in. Then it's in this, and it's like, boy, what a waste. I was excited for him being in this movie when I realized he was in it after Challengers.
I'm going to throw another one out there. Laurel, see if you agree with me here. Austin Butler, what a waste.
He hardly said
almost
anything.
No material.
He hardly said anything.
Honestly, the movie to me, and this is going to sound bad, but it felt like I was watching people pretending to be like in Grease. Like, I was watching them, like, pretending to be these. Yeah. I know you're acting. I understand that sounds silly to say, but, like, it's like I was watching them pretending to be other characters.
They wore leather jackets. That's cool. I'm going to do it, too.
Grease is better.
Grease is listen to this.
Grease is like a masterpiece, okay?
Listen to this. You know how I told you, Tyler, there was no way that In a Violent Nature would be worse than The Strangers going into it? Okay, and then you walked out and you went, oh, my gosh, it was worse than The Strangers. I thought to myself, there's no way The Bikeriders is a worse motorcycle movie than Wild Hogs. I'm wrong. Wild Hogs, infinitely better than The Bikeriders. Wild Hogs.
I at least get some comedy value and entertainment value out of Wild Hogs as opposed to this.
The thing for me is, like, I don't understand why this movie exists. I know that sounds bad. Like, there's no reason for it
and you know what? I hate the people that go, there's no reason for any movie to exist.
Well, yes, but I'm saying, like, there's nothing that you get out of this movie. And Tom Hardy... Never mind, I won't say it.
What is it?
The book may be good. I don't know.
I'm sure
but every book doesn't have to be adapted into a movie.
Tyler, we've been crapping on this film now for a good 5 minutes. You gave this a 4 out of 5 after walking out of the theater. What did you see that we didn't?
So I am a big fan of Sons of Anarchy and Mayans MC, that whole universe. And watching the Bikeriders, I could see glimpses of the time before that everybody in Sons of Anarchy
you
talks
love the
about.
Historical nature of it.
Yes. So this isn't a look at motorcycle gangs. It's a look at the sort of outlaw culture that bred motorcycle gangs. And going into the movie, I was expecting Sons of Anarchy mixed with like mini Saints of Newark. And I'd said that in the chat this morning, and I walked out and I was like, well, that's not what that movie was at all. But I still enjoyed it.
Okay. I am going to equate this movie. I'm going to use the analogy of the Goodfellas mentality, right? Goodfellas is very similar in what it's trying to achieve as the Bikeriders. However, Goodfellas, that's a room you want to be in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Those people are doing dastardly things. They're awful, corrupt human beings doing just really, really bad stuff.
And you would be sitting right next to them.
And you'd be fearful for your life every time you're hanging around them. But you don't want to miss the conversation.
Yep.
You don't want to miss the moment where Joe Pesci makes that remark in that room that makes everybody laugh. Or you're willing to go on the thrill ride because the fear that you have is overtaken by the enjoyment you're getting from being there with that group of guys. And it makes sense because that's the secret sauce of Goodfellas, is that no matter what you think morally of the characters, they're the coolest guys in the room.
Yep.
Bikeriders, these are the lamest guys in any room they walk in.
Correct.
And they walk around and they're just complete idiots. And they smell bad and they
Austin Butler
act
never
stupid.
doesn't have dirt on him.
And oh, by the way, I mean, this is a slight spoiler for the Bikeriders if you're going to see this horrible movie. Slight spoiler. Oh, and we may rape somebody. What?
That was kind of. I was
Yeah.
like, what is going on with
That
this?
was, that
Because-
was uncomfortable. I'll
Guys.
concede that point.
This film sucks. And I really am I'm so upset about it. I didn't go see it opening day to trash it. I wanted it to be good.
The thing with this movie,
It
why
sucks.
it's not like a half a star out of 5. Like we both
The acting's
we
not
both
horrible.
gave it a 2 out of 5.
I think Tom
Oh, I
Hardy
guess you didn't
and
hate it then.
Austin
the
Butler
actors.
are good.
Here's the thing: the actors in the movie are good actors. I mean, everybody we've named, we can go and name a ton of stuff they've done that we have really liked. The way it was shot wasn't necessarily the worst. It's just the source material and the script is so bad.
and boring.
This
None
is
of that
what
matters.
happens. Look, adaptations constantly get dinged for, oh, that's not an original idea. It was adapted from this thing. So this is what a poor adaptation looks like. Because some things just don't translate to film well if you don't have a good plan. And I feel like the narrative structure of using Mike Face to be the audience's sort of entry into this gang is totally misused. And from a storytelling device, from a weight of the experience sort of device, nothing about this movie worked for me. And
we
though
haven't
it's
even
got a
mentioned-
stacked cast.
We haven't even said the words Jodie Comer, who's actually the main character of this movie.
You think she'll get an Oscar nomination? She shouldn't.
I don't think so.
She shouldn't.
But like, I went into the movie assuming Tom Hardy and or Austin Butler were going to be the main characters of the movie.
She is the main
Austin
character.
Butler is down the list. I mean, she is by far number one.
I'm wondering.
Maybe Tom Hardy's second. Mike Face is in it as much as Austin Butler is, if not even more. Because
I bet he was filming other things. I bet he probably, because he's done so much since Elvis, that he probably, this was like on the back burner.
this actually
I
was
bet.
done like a year and a half, 2 years ago, because it made the film festival circuit last year, and now is getting the release. Whoever bought it, I think Focus maybe did it. I don't remember whoever bought it and distributed it, but they shouldn't have done so. But yeah, like, I mean, she's just kind of there. I mean, she kind of is that with Mike Face, that narrative device of kind of they're explaining the story and then they show you a little bit of it. But I mean, it looks like she wasn't bad. Her accent was kind of annoying, but like, it's none of the actors in it are bad. I mean, if Austin Butler's in a movie coming up, everybody's still going to eat it up. If Tom Hardy, it doesn't make me want to watch Venom any less. It doesn't make me dislike any of the actors or anything.
Here's
It
what
just wasn't there.
I think every single person that was associated with this movie was dedicated to the project. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
I think they all
I
cared.
agree.
I think you see their performances and you go, this person cares about what they're doing right now. I didn't care. The audience that was with us last night, which was what? 5 other people other than us.
So like I started
I didn't
keeping
care.
a movie going journal of every experience because I've had so many bad ones this year.
Yeah.
But then like Bad Boys, boom, first 5 out of 5 movie experience I've had this year. Then Inside Out went back down. It wasn't a great experience at the theater. Kids running around. And I get that happens. But this,
It's a kids movie.
Yes.
Yeah, it was opening for Inside
no,
Out.
I mean
Ron.
I get it. I'm not saying I
Hold
don't
on.
get it.
That's a little bit of hypocritical because you're like, oh, during the Garfield movie, there was all these kids in there. And
There was one climbing like along the tops of the chairs. That's a little bit different than like just being
There was
loud, I
one
think.
person in Inside Out that I'm not going to get into on the air that I can tell you all later, which made it low. But with this, I started thinking like, what was my experience? Well, half of it was through the back of my eyelids, but there was no experience to be had because there were probably 10 people in there
asleep.
total, including the 3 of us. But like, there's no reaction to be had to the movie. Most movies have reactions, whether it's laughing, Whether it's crying, whether it's gasp like in a horror movie because somebody's got killed, whether it's anger, whatever, there's some kind of inside out something happening in your head.
I'll go a step further. Even the characters on the screen don't react.
Correct. And so there's literally nothing for us to react to. You just mentioned something that happened in the movie that was a spoiler, and we're all just like, okay.
There's no memorable scene. For as bad as A Violent Nature was, a lot of people talk about that yoga scene. That's the one thing that people are going to talk about because that's what people remember from it. There's like nothing to remember about it. Like there's not. It's like, do you remember in Bikeriders when they got on the bikes?
We'll get to the end of the year, and I'll be going through my full list of movies and be like, oh yeah, that did come out this past year.
I'm going to do an impression of a Bikeriders scene without giving away anything. All right, Tyler, ask me any question whatsoever, and I'm going to play the role of Tom Hardy. Okay. Ask me any question whatsoever. I'm the president of this biker club.
Please do the voice.
I don't know. What are you doing?
Sure. That's it. Every single time he's reacting.
That's good.
Every single time. It's a bunch of nonverbal thinking in his head what to do. One line answer. And it doesn't even correlate with what's going on screen. It's awful.
Not to say what happens at the end, but like the end should be shocking. And when it happens, everybody's like, all right, well, I guess we're done.
It's not looking at the watch. It's like, what time is
Let's
it?
go home.
Movie sucks. Movie sucks. Side characters suck. Everything sucks. Okay. John, give me your top 5.
I can't wait until y'all have fun going to the movies.
I did last week with Inside Out 2.
Yeah, and the week before that with Bad Boys.
And Challengers, the Mike Face
and
movie of the year.
Yes.
Don't pull this whole like you guys just hate the movies. We all went to have a good time. Don't become one of those people where it's like you just hate the system. No, the movie sucks and you know it deep down inside, Tyler. You know it.
I'd move it down to like a 3.5, but
Sean,
2 is
hate
like
this
just
movie.
brutal. You guys are ripping into it and defending In a Violent Nature. That was just a GTA
I'm not doing
NPC
that.
walking through the woods.
I didn't defend it in a
I
violent
just said
nature.
that that's one thing that people have brought up. Okay, I mean, I'm just saying.
I have heard more positive out of In a Violent Nature from y'all coming out of that versus this.
That's
Is this how the Meltdown motorcycle gang ends up breaking up? Is this how it happens? Because it'll be much more riveting than what happens in the movie. Okay.
Knives or fists.
No, look, I don't mind dying on the hill that this movie is garbage. I do not mind dying on that hill because I honestly, truly believe it with all the passion in my heart. Going in, wanting it to be great. If you look at my most anticipated list on Letterboxd, it's right up there. I think top 5, top 7, something like that.
Sure, that ain't no there for me.
Give me your top 5 box office prediction of what makes the most money this week.
I forgot to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. Don't do it. Just don't give it. Don't give it to me at all. Then let's go with this.
Sorry.
Producer Tyler's back here with us. Tyler, how you doing, man?
Tyler.
Oh, that's the wrong camera. Hey.
You're falling apart.
No.
I mentioned that
Here's my
Rocky's
prediction. Sorry.
camera should be adjusted.
Here's my prediction. Bikeriders ain't going to be number 1. Anyway, moving on.
That's great. Inside Out 2 will hold number 1.
Correct.
Bad Boys
will still be second.
Will hold second. And then third will still not be Bikeriders, probably.
Maybe.
it might be a third.
That's the most.
Think about it, John. And when you got it all fleshed out, we'll come back to you. Producer Tyler went to go see The Exorcism last night. Now,
Sure did.
This movie stars Russell Crowe. He plays a priest in this movie. Is that correct?
He plays an actor playing a priest.
Okay, plays an actor playing a priest. Is this a movie that's worth exercising the dollars out of your wallet to buy a ticket to go see?
No. If you're interested in it, you can wait until it hits streaming. If you're into like The Pope's Exorcist, also with Russell Crowe. No relation to The Exorcism though.
And didn't that just come out recently?
It did.
So what's the deal here with Russell Crowe? He's typecast as...
I think he's just after a
Paycheck?
quick little paycheck.
Okay. So what is the most redeeming quality of this movie? Is there some element of it that you really liked?
I like the premise. It pays homage to a lot of old production stories about like The Omen, Exorcist, and Poltergeist
yeah.
all being haunted throughout the making of the movies. And I really liked that, and I thought it had some cool imagery at points, but it was just not good. It was overly dramatic, but not believable. And then the whole final act is just a complete mess and is real goofy.
Okay.
I like the Bikeriders. Oh, wait. Sorry.
I thought you were going to say, Tyler, why don't you enjoy the movies anymore? Why don't you just... No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. We're having a friendly little tiff about this, but it's all fun. Tyler's smiling and laughing along. You just can't see it right now. And then when it goes back to him, he'll look stern again, and he'll have what's being referred to now as Ben Affleck face. Did you see that interview, by the way, of Ben Affleck
I
being asked
did.
about his
In what planet is J-Lo more famous than Ben Affleck now?
bananas level famous, I think, according
I
to Ben
don't
Affleck.
because I don't
You know what
get
I think
it.
it is? I think it's a dig.
I'm wondering if this is all fake.
What?
Like I'm wondering if no, I'm wondering
Definitely.
I'm wondering if to get out of the tour they've concocted this idea. Like I don't but
What idea?
Like that they're getting divorced because
Oh.
like how because when they're seen out, they don't look that miserable. I mean, I get it that there's probably like cameras and stuff, so maybe they're acting, but they've been going to like the kids' graduations. They've been seen out. I'm wondering if this is just one for attention and she just really wanted to get out of the tour, or two, if he's just like miserable.
You'll
and
have
just
to watch
letting
the
it out.
documentary she's producing with all of her money in order to find out. Okay.
What if the documentary ends with them getting back together?
It could. That's what I'm saying. I could potentially see that.
Now you got to see it.
Now you have to, yes. Let's go over. By the way, speaking of exorcism movies, Mike Flanagan's The Exorcist entry will be released in theaters from Universal on March 13th of 2026. That an announcement here this week as the latest Exorcist movie, which Universal and Blumhouse way overpaid for, is going to try another sort of reboot, I feel like, because the David Gordon Green Exorcist movie, which I still have not seen because of what he did to the Halloween franchise. Laurel, you have seen it. It was abysmal from what I've heard.
It's awful.
Okay.
It's one of the worst movies. I think it's one of the worst ones I've ever seen. It's horrible. When I say it's bad, I didn't think the Halloween was as horrible as you thought. I mean, my way of thinking is like at least they tried something different. This is just bad dialogue. The plot is weird. We went to the house at
I went
Horror
to the haunted
Nights,
house at least. That's all I got out of it.
and I'm just kind of confused.
wasn't good.
Spoiler alert. I guess that one girl is just going to be stuck in hell now because we'll never see what happens. So
Sure.
John, us as horror fans will be there still opening day for the new Exorcist movie probably, and that's
Yeah, well.
what makes you question our sanity of like, why do you
Correct.
continue to get hurt this way?
Correct.
But you know what? It's the life we've decided to live. We have Rockstar here with us. Rockstar, so happy to have you on the show today. As we
lights bright.
we got the bright lights on Rocky.
Got the crotch shot.
We got the crotch shot.
Just put it on, Tyler. I'll fix it.
This is what I have to ask you about. It may be the most divisive thing so far that we've talked about. Meltdown Triple Threat Tag Team Tornado Trivia.
Yeah.
What happened this week on Wednesday shocked the world, including
have to.
you. If you were, we have to talk this out. This is what the league is. If you had win, lose, or draw, you got to be able to talk about it. The press conference has to happen. Rocky,
Yeah.
going into that matchup, I asked you about the three teams, and you said that basically Reed and Taylor, it just impressed you that they were even there because no one had picked them to win. Even they were saying they had no chance. They ended up getting the win on Wednesday.
Winning with less than no points.
Correct. You will now be facing them less than a week from now.
Yep.
Are Reed and Taylor legitimate contenders to win the whole entire tournament?
Everybody is. That's the crazy. I've learned about this tournament. It is. I don't know if John. Do you remember playing Wednesday?
Nope.
I don't. Okay, because I don't even know if he's remember. But there, it's all strategy. It's all what happens on that damn wheel that we only get about 30 of those a game. It's all.
It seems that way.
It really is not what you know. Like you could have. We could have put Reed's daughters in there. They could have a chance. You don't know. I mean, do you agree with that or disagree
I
with that?
concur.
I agree that the game is made to where anyone can win
Yes.
it. But John would also agree that if you don't follow a winning strategy, you will get punished by this game.
You have to play the game more
Should y'all
than just
pass that last question, you think?
There's one question that should have been passed, and we would have won the game if that one question had been passed.
I heard.
And I've said it a lot around.
So let me
here.
ask, did Reed and Taylor beat you, or did Team Fast and Furious beat itself?
Team Fast and Furious beat itself.
There you go.
Then I make no apologies for the way the game is designed because that's user error. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
You have to avoid that on Wednesday. Laurel, where are your nerves at going into next Wednesday?
I mean, I'm worried. I'm gonna be.
Do you have a fear of ethylene? That's garlic, by the way.
We need to get like cue cards to go through. I'm excited. I am nervous. we're not throwing the flag. That's going to be, unless we are 100% positive that we'll throw the flag.
I didn't know also I know Tyler was thrown into the fire, but like when I threw the flag, that the guy who wrote the question was going to decide if that was the.
I didn't.
Well,
No, and Tyler, I'm honestly
didn't.
still a little upset at you. Like, that has made me look at you a little. And you kind of gave me a stray about the violent nature thing just now, I feel. And the Travis Kelce thing. I don't know why.
Eddie is betraying Team Eddie.
I don't know why all of a sudden Tyler is betraying me. I thought it was Chrissy and Eddie, but I guess not.
The in a violent nature thing was more of a shot at Tim because he's the one who actually said that it would be better than The Strangers, and
had to
I
be.
thought The Strangers Chapter 1 was actually better.
And I think In a Violent Nature is definitely better than The Strangers Chapter 1. So we're going to disagree on that. But I will always leave it open for discussion. The whole reason I've given you a challenge flag is so that way it's not just one person decides all. But Tyler clearly made a choice.
What do we win?
Well,
do we
I
win
think-
anything?
but I
Split it
think-
2-1.
yeah, but I think which I think was a legitimate challenge because the master of ceremonies was flummoxed. I could tell you were flummoxed, and you're just like, I don't know, Tyler. What do you think? I guess
I
it's
said-
right.
I'm-
Hey, challenge not accepted. It's just like, whoa. 'Cause
Yeah,
I could see on your face that you was like, oh no.
No, I still feel very confident that the right decision was made. Now, does the whole entire, 94% of the chat agree with you? Absolutely, they do.
98%.
Yeah.
But what I think would be
100% of the
crazier
chat.
You want to throw the challenge flag on the percentage of the
I'd
chat?
say it's 100% of the chat.
if that had happened to John this week,
Oh, you thought I was mad anyway.
I'm just like if
imagine.
the same kind of thing where you're just like, well, and like John's like, well, no, like I can't imagine what would happen. So it's just like I think I have planted a seed in everybody about how dangerous the challenge flag is.
The challenge flag is a very dangerous thing, but I will go to the grave with my belief. You will go to the grave with your belief, and that is what makes this country great.
And I'm going to the grave a loser. All right.
Laurel, I know you have a strong belief about this. Jaws was released for the first time 49 years ago on this weekend in 1975.
Best summer movie.
It was randomly drawn out of the Dune popcorn bucket. Yours is as obsessed with this movie as I am. Is it your favorite Spielberg movie ever?
Ooh.
AI is pretty good.
I'm not
like
sure.
AI.
I mean, it's up there. It's definitely in the
Do
top.
you like Jurassic Park more than Jaws?
Oh. Probably just
Okay.
because it's a little bit more, it's still kind of like scary, it's still got like kind of like a horror feel to it. And that legitimately did scary when I was a child. Like the scene where it's running, where it says like objects may appear closer. It's like running back. And Newman, Newman has, I mean, does Newman have the best death in like a movie?
Gizmo.
It's a terrible death.
But I'm saying like that people remember and
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about.
Just acid spit in your eyes.
And basically playing Newman in that movie.
Yeah, well, Wayne Knight's not very. Doesn't seem like he's got a big range.
But
I
I
played Newman also in Space Jam.
and then what's the one with Sharon Stone where she crosses her legs?
Basic Instinct.
Yeah. He was one of the main people. But no, I love Jaws. I think Jaws is like the quintessential summer movie when that kind of kick-started, I feel like, summer movies too.
That was the first
And
blockbuster, for
People
sure.
people still love it. I'm glad that they've never remade it because I do not think it would work nowadays.
Well, the sequels show that enough.
One
I'm
in SeaWorld.
very excited about this entry in the Dune popcorn bucket. I've never gone on the studio tour where the Jaws animatronic
Which we
comes out of
have.
the water.
We've done it.
Is it effective? Is it fun? Is it something that actually would
I
get a kid
screamed.
today?
Did you
into
put your
being
head in
nervous?
the picture like, oh no?
Would it get a kid? Maybe. It's just so old. That's the problem. And I respect them keeping it how it always has been. So it's kind of cool because of that, but it's not like, oh my God, Jaws is actually coming for
Yeah,
us.
and they have one at Universal Studios. They used to have the ride there, and now they have the shark. And my mom has pictures of me starting when we started going when I was like 5, up until now with me and John when we're married. So it's like
That's
all
awesome.
through life. It's so
Shark.
cute.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about this movie. Tyler, tell me you've seen Jaws more than once.
I've seen it probably 3 times
Okay.
over my life. I really like it a lot, though.
I'm looking very
You would be
forward to us
Quint, I feel
talking
like.
about it. And John,
Wait, no, you feel like you'd be quit?
Yeah.
Like
there's no doubt in my mind if we were to divide up who the team is, that I am Brody and
I'm the mayor.
you're not the mayor. No,
I don't know.
You'd be Richard Dreyfuss in this.
Yes.
Who's the shark?
The
Tyler.
Oh,
The The shark would be the team of Taylor and Reed. And
You're the surly old
you'd be
sailor.
Quint,
Thanks.
for sure.
Isn't he an
I'm the
alcoholic
first one that
too?
dies to the sharks.
Brown would be the mayor, I feel like.
Tyler would be my deputy that would be there, basically running around and doing my bidding. It would be great. This is going to be a very fun rewatch. Cannot wait to do a deep dive into the movie Jaws, and it's going to be very exciting. As we approach, John, you pointed this out yesterday as soon as it was drawn, the July 4th holiday. What are the chances?
Yeah, it's
We just happened to draw Alien on the 45th anniversary. Just happened to draw Jaws going up to the 4th.
yeah. Jaws is a good movie. It is not at all a top 5 Spielberg movie, but it's still a good movie, and so I think that says something about Spielberg.
Not even top 5 Spielberg?
No.
You're insane.
No, it has to be. The beginning?
No,
It's like iconic.
no.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But I'm just saying
Let's
that
move
says
on.
something about Steven Spielberg.
Let's quickly move on
Says
here.
something about Jaws too.
One of my favorite scenes in Jaws is when they cut open the stomach of the shark that is not Jaws, and they have a license plate in there and all that stuff. John, if you were to cut open our stomach, it would have a lot of nutritional value thanks to our friends over at Way to Wellness, Leslie and her board certified team.
Just gonna let that sit there for a second.
Please
Go
do.
to aplanforme.com. Visit Way to Wellness. You see Tim and I visiting Way to Wellness right here. Leslie and a whole board certified team helping us out as we weigh in. We've dropped over 75 combined pounds. We'll go back next week, see where we are. You see the helpful staff helping us out. You too can get a plan like I have and like Tim has, like Jim Dunaway has, like my dad has. Go to aplanforme.com and you too can get a plan that will help you drop weight at planforme.com, and you can be happy like Tim.
Yes, we are very excited to be partnered up with Leslie and Way to Wellness. It is now time for what is a classic Meltdown segment, but with a little bit of a twist this time. It's called Hot or Cold. This is the way it's going to work. I'm going to ask a question. It's going to be very specific. Make sure you listen to the question itself.
Get ready for Wednesday.
And then you are going to physically show me whether you are
Challenge.
hot or cold on it. And Tyler's going to have to pan around the room to show what everyone's reaction is. And then I will call on a few of you, unless you feel very, very passionate that you need to jump in, which is perfectly fine and perfectly acceptable. I'll call on a few of you to have a discussion topic or a discussion around the topic. Everybody understand? Hot or cold? Here we go.
I'm going to try something here, Tyler. Give me a second. Keep going. Just go.
Topic number 1. Paris Hilton's 1111 Media has signed a global distribution deal with ADA in anticipation of her upcoming sophomore album, Infinite Icon, releasing on September 6th. The lead single, I'm Free, is out today. Are you currently hot or cold on Paris Hilton's future as a musician? Oh, let's look at this. We have everybody captured
Hold it
at
down a
once.
little lower, Rocky. There you go.
Okay, so there's only
Not that
one hot in the room, which means I'm going to Laurel. Laurel, why are you hot on this as the boys are not?
Because Stars Are Blind was actually a good song. And if you've seen Promising Young Woman, which we've seen, I was shocked to see that song that they actually, it was Bo Burnham and what's the girl's name? Carrie Mulligan.
Yeah.
That actually performed the song in a bit. And that song, it like became popular again after the movie came out.
Except Laurel had to be like, that's Paris Hilton. It's like, I never would have
I
known that.
mean, it
Nobody
was-
was going to know that.
Are they making a hottie in the naughty too?
No, but she's a DJ now, which is,
Oh, of course she is.
but she, she actually can carry a tune, and I'm sure it's going to have a ton of auto tune, so it will sound
That's hot.
energetic. Yeah, it'll sound. I mean, it'll be fun.
hot.
It's not going to be winning any Grammys, but it's going to be some fun pop music. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Steven says cold. Brian Pavlik says frozen Girl Scout Thin Mint cold, which
I don't know
is
about that, Travis.
very
That's-
specific.
Actually, pretty good.
I would love that.
that's really good.
So he's excited about it. Okay.
Okay, we go to topic number 2, unless, Tyler, you have anything you want to say on the Paris Hilton situation, which I assume you do not.
No. Most of everything you said just kind of went one ear and out the other.
Another stray from
And
Tyler.
I had
That's
to tie,
fine.
and I had to
Okay.
tie it
agree
back
with Tyler on
together
that one.
at the end.
Wait until he rules against you on Wednesday.
I know. I am. I've got my ears open.
You're fighting against Reed and Taylor and Tyler.
I
So,
know.
There we go. Okay. Question number 2. The Great American Bar Scene is a new album that Zach Bryan has been teasing for a while now. It has a release date, July 4th. Tyler's already got his choice. That's not the... You got to listen to the question, though. That's the key. Brian will preview the album at 23 bars across the U.S. on June 24th, 10 days ahead of the official launch. Are you hot or cold on Jim Dunaway likely talking about this album multiple times on air in the month of July?
Oh, God.
Come on.
Okay, so Tyler, you're the only one cold on this. Did you hear the actual question itself?
Yeah, did you listen?
So am I hot or cold on Jim talking about a Zach Bryan album?
Multiple times a month, meaning that it will happen.
Jim's obsessed with Zach Bryan.
I understand. Yeah,
And
I'm
his
still
girlfriend.
cold. I don't like country
I
music
can't name a single
at
Zach
all.
Bryan song.
Is he still dating Chicken Fry?
Is it called like Brianna? Wait, what's her name? Chicken Fry? Or
Oh,
like-
I'm
Free
tired of
chicken
hearing
fry.
about her too.
So
He's
you're
obsessed
tired
with
of
her,
hearing
too.
about her from who?
Jim
From
Dunaway.
Jim.
That's exactly,
That's exactly why we're all
asking the
holding up
question.
hot.
I think he's interpreting the question, are you hot on him talking about it? Like, I can't wait for him to talk about it.
I'm hot. That is going to happen.
That's how he's interpreting the
Yeah.
Are
question.
you hot or cold on Jim Dunaway likely talking about this album multiple times on air in the month of July? Phrasing is important, I've come to learn from Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia, and that's why I'm making it. There we go. We changed young Lionel's vote.
I'm covering
He
him
is
up with the
correct.
red because that's gonna happen.
I just want Tyler to be a winner. That's all. Okay. Question number 3. Matthew McConaughey says it was scary when Hollywood only wanted him to make rom-coms, and then he stopped acting for 2 years, saying, quote, I had long talks with my wife about needing to find a new vocation, like I think I'm going to go teach high school classes, or I think I'm going to go study to be a conductor, or I think I'm going to go be a wildlife guide. Are you hot or cold on Matthew McConaughey currently being one of the top 10 actors working today? Hot or cold on Matthew McConaughey currently being one of the top 10 actors working today? Laurel's the only one that's voted so far. Rockstar has voted. Let's get a shot of everybody's.
I'm kind of like
Ooh.
middle of the. I know that's tough. He's probably either just in or just out.
What
the
is
top
it?
10.
What is it that keeps him right there at that Mendoza line?
I think
for
he
you?
does good movies.
Yeah, it's not a shot at him. I just think
It's
I could
just-
probably potentially find 10 that I would say are bigger actors.
Let me throw out a name and you tell me whether they're ranked ahead or below Matthew McConaughey really quickly here.
Okay.
Timothy Chalamet.
I would probably say yes. He is ahead of him.
Ahead.
Right this second.
Right
he is
this
ahead
second.
of him. Overall
Bradley
career,
Cooper.
no.
Bradley Cooper.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 2 right there.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo
Yeah.
DiCaprio.
I think he's losing his.
He's losing a little bit. He may not be number 1 anymore, but he's still
He's got
definitely
those
there.
beach shots though. See those?
Okay. How about let's go with
I think we're talking about just men.
talking about men, just men. Let's
The
go.
real actors.
What about Will Smith?
It's a very quick flash right now, but he still is a box office draw, so that's tough. I don't know if I'm definitely ready to say he's ahead of him or not, but probably right this second he is.
What about Michael B. Jordan?
No.
What about Robert Downey Jr.?
Yes, because he just won an Oscar. Plus Marvel.
What about Cillian Murphy?
No.
He just won an Oscar.
But I said
Oh, sorry.
the other one had Marvel.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out who would be slam dunks for you ahead of
Vin Diesel.
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. That's 5.
Brad Pitt,
Dwayne The Rock
Put
Johnson.
Brad Pitt ahead of him.
George Clooney.
Denzel Washington.
George Clooney close. I probably would put him ahead.
Okay, so that
Did
right
you
there.
say-
Denzel.
I'd
You
probably
got
put
3
Denzel
spots
ahead.
left. You got 2 spots left. Is
Austin
Matthew
Butler?
McConaughey one of those? It's not going to be Austin Butler for him.
Nelson Butler. Not yet. Could be easily soon.
Kevin
What about
Spacey?
Chris Pratt?
Yeah.
So that's 9. There's 1
Oh,
spot
Tom
left.
Cruise.
Oh, Tom
Tom
Cruise. Yeah,
Cruise.
so he's not in your 10 then.
Well, we once would sit there and run through it. That's also why I was very hesitant to
That's
put it
what.
up.
No, but I'm not doing
yeah.
that to try to chastise
This
you.
kind of goes back to a previous conversation we had on the show when like Chris Hemsworth was talking about Thor. I don't understand why these people have to complain so much about the previous movies. Like, you want to complain about the rom-coms? That's what made you all your money.
Although, like, I don't-
those
I don't
are
know
the
what
movies
time-
that made you famous.
Did you say like a year that he hit that point? Because like for me, what would make me go, okay, he's top 10.
This would have been early to mid 2000s.
was like when he did Interstellar. That for me was like, okay, to get to all the Nolan people that were mentioned, like that's when it's like, oh, okay, he's up there. That movie is really good. It's looked at as an incredible movie by a lot of people that like.
I mean, I just know a lot of people love How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That's a movie that people still like are obsessed with. Like that was an era
so like
for
me,
him.
I don't care about that. Then Interstellar
But how
puts
much
him on
money
more
did,
of a platform
but that
that you
movie
get
made
both.
a lot of money and made him like a household name, though. So like, I'm just saying, don't complain
take your
about
word
it.
for it. I don't know.
I mean,
Ryan Pavlik also threw out Tom Hanks, which
Tom Hanks.
you would have
I
ahead.
think-
He's
I-
probably still ahead. Yeah.
I think he's losing a little bit.
I do too, but still, they're so like him and Leo are so high.
Yeah.
Because we did a list on Primetime back in the day of like top 25 actors, and Leo and Tom Hanks were my 1 and 2. Easy choices then, and they may still be number 1 and 2 if you look at their overall career, but they are kind of slowly.
Would you have somebody like Jacob Elordi ahead of Matthew McConaughey?
No. From Ex Machina, what's his name in Star Wars?
Oscar Isaac?
Yeah.
I like him more. I would not put him ahead.
I actually thought you were talking about the guy that played Hux, because I'm like,
Donald Gleason. No.
that
Yeah, I
works
guess
too.
so. Yeah, it would work.
Okay, next question. Taylor Swift's The Tortured Poets Department has spent its first 8 weeks at the top of the Billboard 200 album chart. Are you hot or cold that at least one song off of this album will be considered one of her best songs ever? They don't. Yeah, they're cold over there. Which song is it, John?
Depends on Travis, because if Travis
good
ends up working out, I gotta remember the name of it. The one about them in high school. So high school. I think will be looked at as like, oh, she actually got married to Travis Kelce.
It'll be looked at as a top 10 track of all time.
It's not about the music; it's about what the song is. Which I think a lot of her songs, it's more about what they are.
The manuscript, which is a song that she did, a surprise song, and it kind of wraps up like her last how many ever years she's been famous and like talking about different things that trace it back. I mean, the album, as much as people have said they haven't cared for, like it keeps staying number 1. Like it's up there. I love this album. It's it's probably top 5 for me now.
You're wearing a shirt from it.
Yeah, I am wearing it. Yeah.
Every week we end up landing on a
It is,
topic
yeah,
that correlates with your shirt.
So, yeah,
Although none of us said "The Black Dog," which is a song on the album.
that's not Joe. No one cares anymore. Please.
So Long London, I guess, would not follow.
That's
So Joe. Okay. Let's move on to the next one.
It's like you're taking Mandarin.
Netflix. By the way, if Rockstar's in the hot seat in there and a Taylor Swift question comes up, I have a feeling you'll be calling your partner in.
No, I probably know it. I would.
He would answer it, be upset he got it wrong, and throw the challenge.
And I hope it'd be the 10-pointer. The 10-pointer.
Okay. Netflix has released a new line of popcorn with 2 flavors. Have you guys seen this?
No.
Colt Classic Cheddar Kettle and Swoon-worthy Cinnamon Kettle. The snacks are available right now at Walmart nationwide. An 8-ounce bag of Netflix Now Popping costs $4.49.
Price is likely to increase.
Probably. By $1 every single 6 months.
Yeah.
Are you currently hot or cold on buying Netflix branded food options?
Oh.
Okay, everyone's
Well,
cold here.
Why is everyone so negative?
first off,
I'm
Ball's
hot.
not cold.
I have my red flag waved.
Then they have the. I guess they had to because they get Ben and Jerry's, the Netflix and chill, whatever. Isn't that?
But that's technically Ben and Jerry's that's just using the
And
Netflix
it's
brand.
not a good
Skips
flavor.
Ahoy?
I was so
Does that count?
I was so excited about
Did
that.
Netflix actually put the pizzas and stuff out that they did for that?
Yeah, like, did they put the Stranger Things stuff out?
Yeah, I mean, I assume that's Netflix doing it, but I mean, still, I don't.
Netflix
Laurel
is,
bought them, so I tried them, but I was not gonna go out and buy them.
Of course, it comes back on me. But yeah,
I didn't say it was bad. The popcorn may be fine. I'm not gonna go buy it though myself.
we'll buy some. Don't worry.
based on the animosity during this segment so far, this is the way we're doing hot or cold the remainder of eternity. Laurel, why are you so high on buying Netflix branded food?
I think it sounds fun. But I'm trying to be positive here. I don't see there's anything
Hey,
wrong
will you
with
do
the
me a favor? When you do buy this popcorn,
I'll post it. Don't worry. There'll be a video.
it needs to be a Meltdown short, though. That's the only thing.
Okay,
We need
yeah.
a Meltdown short on this.
And also, I will say, I love popcorn. The popcorn that I had at the Bikeriders is the best popcorn I've had. And like,
That's just pretty good because when Tim walked in,
It's
I
really
was
good.
actually destroying it.
Because y'all are desperately looking for something good. Desperately.
Yes.
I did something I've never done before yesterday, which was I got fed bottom of the barrel popcorn. They were scraping the bottom. With
They were when we
try to-
got there too.
Okay. So I'm standing there and I'm waiting for my flatbread and I'm eating my popcorn. I'm going, oh, this isn't great. And over there is freshly popped popcorn falling out of the vat of popcorn. So what did I do? I took my popcorn, I dumped it in the garbage. I go, can I get a refill on popcorn, please? Which doesn't make me a horrible human being, but it didn't require them to walk the entire length of the way back down to fill up my popcorn after they just handed me popcorn and come back. they didn't care, but somehow internally I have struggled
But
with
was it good?
It was excellent.
Okay.
But I mean, I had to waste.
Steven asked, did Tim get a sub in? I'm assuming not. Since
I did not.
He did come in holding a bunch of stuff. I saw flatbread,
Yeah.
popcorn, drink, and all that. So I was like, I guess he didn't get a sub.
I pre-ordered it because I've fallen in love with that system of it being ready for you.
Yeah.
And I got there and none of it was ready. And there was a whole line of people. And I was I didn't complain or anything. I just stood there and
They're not
waited
great.
to get in for 15 minutes.
What I have to do there is I have to order it like an hour beforehand and set the time it's ready for
10 minutes
10 to 20
before.
minutes before the showtime.
Yeah, I was actually going to go to a different theater and then I had to change it. So anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Please review those Netflix now popping bags for us when you can.
will.
Next question. Following his passing, friend Helen Mirren said Donald Sutherland was, quote, one of the smartest actors I've ever worked with. He had a wonderful, inquiring brain and a great knowledge on a wide variety of subjects. I will miss his presence in this world. His Backdraft director, Ron Howard, called him, quote, one of the most intelligent, interesting, and engrossing film actors of all time. Are you hot or cold on Donald Sutherland being one of the best on-screen villains we've seen in the past 20 years with his run in the Hunger Games? Hot or cold on that working? Only person who's cold is Rockstar. Tell us why.
Because I think I saw half of one, so
Okay.
I don't really have the input.
knowledge?
The input.
Why did Hunger Games not work for you?
I don't know. The catnip, is it? What was her name? No,
Cat-
That is.
no.
Ask the question to me if we get 100 games.
I mean, I didn't hate it, but I just didn't think I didn't want to watch 5 more of these. And, it didn't really draw me in, and I guess I probably would have enjoyed the books more, sadly. But I just there's nothing really about it that really.
Did you actually make it to the games?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Because that's where it obviously really picks up.
So we watched the second half of one.
Yeah.
Okay. Tyler, you really liked this previous Hunger Games movie that we saw come out last year.
Mm-hmm.
It did not include Sutherland, but it did include his character.
It was about his
obviously.
character,
It's
yeah.
about his character. I saw it. I thought it was decent. Thought it was more than decent. If it had come out this year, it'd be looked at as one of the best movies of the year.
Yep.
I agree.
So why did you immediately hold up hot? How effective was he in that villainous role of the Hunger Games, in your opinion?
Oh, extremely effective. He was very menacing, conniving. You were afraid of not really his presence and what he would do in the moment, but what he was planning on
He's always
doing.
10 steps ahead.
Exactly.
Look.
He's always scheming.
John, one thing I thought was the most intimidating about the performance was something that was just naturally given to him, and that was his voice.
That as well.
His voice worked. He played the I'm dying, so I'm going to be even more sinister role really well because he was dying over the course of the movie. And this goes to the story. I mean, the character has to be written well, obviously, as we saw with the Bikeriders. It doesn't matter how good the acting is. The writing has to be there. But, his character, I don't remember who wrote the books. Who wrote the Hunger Games books?
Collins,
Suzanne
Suzanne
Collins.
Collins. I was gonna say
Suzanne
Stephanie
Collins.
Meyer. That was Twilight. But
another classic.
he was such a good villain. And remember, his whole thing was he never told a lie. He always told the truth, and being able to pull off getting in front of somebody's face and never villains a lot of times lie. I think that's what made Thanos good. Was Thanos never lied. Thanos pretty much told you what he was going to do, and we're all actually Thanos has a good idea.
He would be he'd be deceiving, but he wouldn't lie.
Yeah, and I think he pulled that off so well. It was such a well written villain, but also you have to be able to pull off the well written villains well. You have to be able to pull off a Joker well. You have to be able to pull off these people well, and he did really good at that. Also, very underrated role for him. Beer Fest, by the way, he was great in Beer Fest.
That's funny. That movie doesn't get mentioned a lot. Maybe the
It
first time
doesn't.
it's been mentioned on this show. Okay, next. Hunger Games star Jennifer Lawrence will officially get to feud, day drink, and access oodles of disposable income, at least until a body turns up in The Wives, which is a murder mystery that is in the vein of The Real Housewives. Are you hot or cold on Jennifer Lawrence still being a box office draw? Every single one of you is cold on Jennifer Lawrence. Laurel, where did things take a turn?
I just don't really care for her. I know that sounds like a horrible thing to say. I thought she was fine in Silver Linings Playbook. We actually watched the movie this past year, and I hadn't seen it in years, and I was like, I'm kind of surprised she won for this.
She's the one I would not pick to win.
I
would pick Bradley
like-
Cooper over her. I pick Robert De Niro over her. I pick Chris Tucker over her. I'd have picked everybody from that movie except for her to win.
I
an
liked her, and I thought she was a good Katniss, but we tried to watch that no hard feelings movie, and we stopped like 15 minutes in, and we're just like, let's watch something else. Like I think she's got a very like a shtick that she has, like the cool girl that doesn't wear makeup and is drinks beer and is like one of the guys, but it just I don't know. It
And
just
what
doesn't do
worked
it
for her
me.
was the Hunger Games, and she hasn't done anything like it since. I mean, I guess X-Men is at least action, but like she was not good in the X-Men movies. To
I
me.
didn't mind her as Mystique, honestly.
yeah.
The thing about X-Men, and I'd say the Hunger Games too, was the cast around her was very good. Even though she's very much a main character, I'd say in both X-Men and obviously the main character in the Hunger
That
Games.
Red Sparrow movie.
I never saw
yeah.
that one.
There you
I never
go.
saw that one.
That was an action
That
movie.
was one of those big turning points where it kind of showed.
Mother was the one that turned it for me.
Oh, Mother, yeah. She had a couple.
I
She had a
forgot
string.
about
Mother.
And see,
Awful.
here's the thing: from Passengers, Chris Pratt, Jennifer Lawrence, down. I mean, now that movie was not good and could have been told a lot better way. It probably would have been better from her perspective as opposed
As a
to
horror
his.
movie,
As
honestly.
more of a horror movie, but like even the Hunger Games, like Woody Harrelson helps make it more. I mean, Josh Hutcherson helps make it more, especially
Liam
once you get
Sutherland.
Donald Sutherland makes it more.
Capote.
Philip Seymour Hoffman
Yeah.
helps make it, especially once you get to the second one on, when you start adding those other characters in there. Jeffrey Wright, who I like so much, making it more. Like, those people all kind of help make the movie. She was there as the main character, but they helped make the movie. Same for that with X-Men. James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, those are the people that make those movies, not... I don't even like Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas Hoult helps make the movie more than Jennifer Lawrence does.
Brian in the chat brings up a good point. Once you find an iconic role like Katniss, it's hard for people to care about anything but that. And I think he's right. She ran into like the Daniel Radcliffe
Harry Potter.
situation after Harry Potter.
I also
Although,
think
Daniel Radcliffe won a Tony
yeah, he
this
did
past
just win a
weekend.
Tony. I think people also kind of got tired of her, like at the award shows, like falling down and like doing the goofy stuff.
Yeah.
She tried to do that at the Golden Globes, like I guess it was this past year, and people were like, "Oh, she still thinks it's 2013. That's cute." It's like
Her shtick is kind of weird to me. Like her real life shtick.
You either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And here we are with
There
Jennifer
she's
Lawrence. Y'all talked about horror movies. I got one for you. Atomic Monster and Blumhouse are developing a movie called Soulmate, with an 8 replacing the A in Soulmate. Described as an erotic thriller with a technological twist that expands the Megan universe, Megan with a 3, where the E is. Soulmate centers on a man who acquires an artificially intelligent android to cope with the loss of his recently deceased wife in an attempt to create a truly sentient partner. He inadvertently turns a harmless love bot into a deadly soulmate. Universal has dated the film for January 2nd, 2026. Would you be hot or cold on this movie getting its own special popcorn bucket?
Only so we can use it.
Okay.
Wow.
Tyler, you love popcorn buckets. Don't break my heart like
You don't want
this.
an erotic robot
I
popcorn
think it'd be
bucket?
fun. Come on.
You've got to listen to the questions.
Hey, come on.
Tyler, you've got to start listening to the questions.
And this is
Am
why
I
we
hotter
lost. That's
on
it.
that movie getting one?
Yes.
So the likelihood of it being made.
Hot or cold on the enthusiasm you would have if there was a popcorn bucket
Oh,
announced.
in
for that.
fuego!
Okay, good.
John, what is it about this game that breaks young Lionel's brain?
I don't know. You do have to listen to the whole question. Don't be like Brian Pavlik and jump too fast
oh
on
my
there.
God.
But
Anne Marie.
Shot fired.
But
Donnie and
can I tell you
Marie.
one thing I hate about this? I saw this announcement. First off, my complaint with Megan is, this is me saying this, Megan didn't go deep enough into what it could have actually been.
Well, then you wouldn't have gone to see it then.
But if you're going to do it, do it. Like, do
But
it.
then you wouldn't have gone to see it.
This, I agree with you fully, Laurel. He's a hypocrite
He was-
right now.
it's rated
She was
R.
making
I
you
don't
angry.
wanna see it.
But the problem is you can't go as deep as you're going. You should go into something with this kind of story. Number two, they spell soulmate M8TE. It should be soul M, the number 8, and stop.
I agree. I totally
That's the
agree
dumbest
with
thing I've
you.
ever seen.
Totally agree.
They gotta spell it out for literally.
It's soulmate. Is how you spell it. Is how it actually says.
I-
Soulmate.
I agree.
I'm
yes,
just saying
I
it's
agree
dumb.
with you on that.
I have to throw that out there. I know that's not the question.
why I mentioned-
I'm in fuego on the sex popcorn bucket, but like
Sex
move on
popcorn
to something
bucket.
else.
You know what that means.
Yeah, I do. I've been to movies.
It's called the Dune
hold
popcorn
on.
bucket.
When you say you know what that means, what else is there left to the imagination for what's being said?
Y'all have any more of them sex popcorn buckets?
That's exactly how Tyler ordered the Dune
exactly
popcorn.
what he
I
said.
gotta order it for work.
Do you want any popcorn? No, but it's like they hand it to
Just
me. I
the
didn't say I
bucket.
didn't want butter.
And with them sex popcorn buckets, hold the popcorn.
That's what she said.
Okay. Yeah, boy. Okay. Let's quickly move on here. Which, by the way, this idea has already been done in Black Mirror. I'm just going to say that. The whole replacing your wife with a robot. This
It's
was
been done
it was a
several times.
husband.
Replacing her
Husband was
husband.
replaced, but still,
And
spouse.
who played it?
Donald
Gleason.
Gleason. There you go. Very popular for Hux today. Tyler wants to Hux that popcorn bucket.
Oh my.
Oh. Wow.
Cold.
That was
Oh.
cold. Okay. Okay. What is happening?
Tyler's
Did we get that on camera?
Finally got it.
Did we get it on camera?
Yeah, he did it.
Tyler held up the red one. Okay. That's a red card that we actually like to see around here when we're not playing FIFA. Next up, Post Malone will deliver the first taste of his newly announced album, F1 Trillion, during a one-night-only show in Nashville, right up the road from us, set for July 16th. The album is slated for an August 16th release. Are you hot or cold on Post Malone potentially releasing an album that is entirely country music? Hot or cold on a country album from Post Malone? Sort of in the vein of Beyonce. Everyone hot on it except for Rockstar.
Do
Rockstar.
you know who that Post Malone is?
I do know. He's played a show with Eddie Vedder. I think he's super talented, but I don't care about a country album.
I don't
Like
care about a country album, but he's super talented
He
and
is.
can pull it off.
He can do anything.
That's
Like,
kind of his new
I
thing
don't
now,
think-
is country.
I don't care about Beyonce's country album. I would rather hear Beyonce be Beyonce. But like Post Malone, I think is somebody like we talked about Chris Stapleton the other day. I guess we're talking about Justin Timberlake. Like Chris Stapleton can do it all and do it all very well. I don't care about his country, but he's still good at country, just like he's good at singing R&B or whatever else it may be. Same goes for Post Malone. That's why I'm still like, I'll even check it out because I do like Post Malone overall.
What are you laughing about, Tyler? I got to know about this.
I just saw Brian in the chat. He said he would rather hear an album from our neighborhood post woman.
Okay. There we go.
I like Post Malone overall, so overall I'm hot when he does something.
Okay, next question. Jonathan Majors has been cast in the independent revenge thriller Merciless. It marks his first film role since he was convicted.
He could not convince them.
Convicted in 2023 of domestic assault and fired from Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe. Martin Villeneuve, the younger brother of Dune filmmaker Denis Villeneuve, is directing Merciless and confirmed the news of Majors' casting. Are you hot or cold on Majors potentially reaching A-list status someday in the future? I can repeat the question, Tyler, if you'd like. You have both up. Talk to me then. Why do you have both up?
All right, so Cole. Well, hang on, what happened there?
Did Tyler
What's
kill the
happening?
streak?
Tyler
going
killed the
on?
stream.
All right, there we go. We're back.
That happens when you defend.
Still nobody has seen my gray. I
So,
have gray up. or
I was
cold.
cold. I'm cold on him getting to A-list because of his conviction. That's something that's going to be hard for people to get past. But at the same time, he's been nominated, or did he win a Perseverance Award lately?
That is true. No, Tyler's correct on that. He did get honored at some award ceremony not too long ago. That is true.
Come on, Jonathan
So,
Majors.
I am talking
He
about-
did.
So my thinking is,
The
if there's a
emotional support
committee
cup.
willing to host him for a night and put on a celebration, say, hey, look at Jonathan Majors, then maybe at some point he does make his way back into major movies.
Okay, so Tyler, the only one giving it a chance here. John, you were a huge Jonathan Majors stockholder. You love Denis Villeneuve, your favorite current working director. His brother's the one behind this.
You know how many projects they've worked on together?
I don't.
0.
Okay.
It's not a Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan thing.
I got it, but
at
it
least
is
at least
still-
Jonathan Nolan had done stuff I also
Still
really
in the
liked.
family. Why are you selling this so hard?
Well, I mean, I sold my stock on Jonathan Majors.
I'm
I tried to get
Justin
it out.
Pitt. I'm Brad's brother. I'm coming out of a movie too.
Okay.
They told me I was a smart one.
It's like,
Hey, buddy.
it's like Clint, is it Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother,
No.
that's in all the old 80s
Family
movies?
Guy?
Yeah.
I'm not saying just because they're brothers it'll be great, but it is the Villeneuve stamp there that's being put on this movie.
Cold.
Okay.
Jonathan Majors was it. He threw it away. He's gone.
dead to you.
He's dead to me.
Okay.
And if Denis Villeneuve was doing it, I'd give it a shot. But
Majors went back to the minors.
Say Jonathan Minor.
Oh no.
Okay, next question. The new trailer for Colin Farrell's The Penguin TV series dropped this week. It begins streaming this September on Max. Are you hot or cold on this being a potential Emmy-winning project for Colin Farrell? Mixed, hot. Let's start with the hots first. Laurel, why are you so hot on this?
I think it looks good, and I feel like Colin Farrell's he's a good actor. He was really good in the Batman. I think people like the Batman. Is Robert Pattinson going to be on the show?
I bet you he makes an appearance.
probably.
Okay,
at some point.
that's going to get people
Can't have
to
a
tune
Batman
in.
series without Batman.
No, that's people going to tune in. He looks creepy, and people love that, and I think that's a recipe for success.
You know, like in the movie The Batman, when Penguin is there and Robert Pattinson's in the Batmobile and he starts to rev up the engine.
Yeah.
There's going to be a moment like that, I think, in this series where
I'm
it's
sure.
like something's going on at a warehouse, and then all of a sudden it's like, he's here. And then it's going to make it so much more impactful because all you're going to be doing is following the villains the entire course of the television series.
It's going to be very much Batman's still lurking in the dark. Don't forget about that.
Correct.
He may never even show up, but there's still plenty of mentions.
Correct.
I think he will show up. But
Tyler,
yeah.
I want to go with Tyler. Why are you so hot on Colin Farrell potentially on an Emmy-winning run here?
So I was already sold on this show from the initial teaser we got. It just feels like Sopranos, but in Gotham City. And I love the world that Matt Reeves has built out for Gotham City. With The Batman, it felt like Seven or Zodiac. And now we've got a Sopranos style show. So I think this will be great.
Rocky, there is something in the way of you giving this a full hot, and I want to
Saw
know
that
what that is.
No, because I don't have enough information. I saw the trailer. I've seen the 2 trailers. I saw the movie, thought it was too long. Liked the movie, didn't love the movie. Something in the way. If the show looks good from the trailers and everything, I just think there's just going to be so much to offer to say that I'm hot on it being an Emmy-winning show.
Is
I don't know.
Something you'd be willing to watch with us
Yes.
week to week and doing the review of? Because you
Yes.
wouldn't have to watch
It's gonna be a
anything else.
Sunday night. It's going to be a Sunday
Sunday
night.
night.
thing?
It'll be a
Yeah.
Sunday night thing. Yeah.
it'll take that House of the Dragon slot.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we should be good with that.
You're conflicted, John. Tell me why.
Brian says this in the chat. It'll still be a fun series. I don't think Emmy worthy. I would probably lean that way. Now, I thought Colin Farrell was great as Penguin. I thought in that year where he was nominated for the Banshees of Inisherin, he should have been nominated for either The Penguin or After Yang, both of which were infinitely better movies than the Banshees of Inisherin, and he was infinitely better in both of those
Which has
movies.
Donald Gleason's dad.
Which does have Brendan Gleeson. in
My
it.
gosh. Lake Placid.
Just says how many times can we mention Gleason? I'm conflicted because the second trailer very much makes this seems like a Sofia Falcone show more so than a Penguin. It seems like it's more about her fighting against Penguin, and
We'll see.
Kristen Milotti was, I feel like, the focus of this second trailer,
Yeah.
and she wasn't even in the first trailer.
Right.
I don't think.
She's going to play a major role.
To
But
where it almost seems like is the push, this is continuing Gotham's story, but this is going to be more her story? Or is it going to be more his story? Like, based on the 2 trailers, it seems kind of even right now. So when you're just talking about him winning an Emmy for it, at that point, it's like, well, I don't know if like the push is going to be for her to win an Emmy because he's still going to be a part of it moving forward, and she won't. Like in the Batman 2, at least. I mean, who knows?
I think he'll be dinged as well for having brought this character from the movies to the small screen.
Yeah, it's not original.
So he's probably going to get dinged for that, but I do think he gets a nomination. All right, next question. A24 has released the trailer for Sam and Max Egger's directorial debut, The Front Room, a horror movie starring Brandy as a newly pregnant wife at odds with her estranged stepmother. Are you hot or cold on this movie becoming more than another disposable horror flick? Hot or cold on this one? Laurel, you're alone on an island again.
That's fine.
Sell us on this movie.
I think we saw the trailer when you were about to get your allergy shots. I like
Hell yeah.
Brandy. I haven't seen her in quite some time. I mean, she was, and I think she's going to be in the new I Know What You Did Last Summer, which I thought her character died, so I don't know how they're going to put that together, but it's fine, I guess. But this looked
doesn't
creepy.
matter.
It looks
We're
scary.
horror fans. We don't care about quality.
It's fine, whatever. But it looks scary. It looked creepy. It looked A24.
It looked like a comedy to me.
I mean, kind of looked like a little bit
Dark comedy.
Yeah,
Well-
I think, but it looked kind of like The Visit a little bit, like kind of like that look to it.
I think it's got some Skeleton Key vibes to it. I really do.
I had to watch the trailer twice. The second time with subtitles.
I was going to say,
I'm not watching that.
I was literally going to say, at some point, I hope you do this as an impression.
Yeah.
Because this is you. I can see him filming a scene out of y'all's basement for a Rockstar's Playhouse at some point.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to put some context into that.
Right. I really don't. I really
not.
don't.
But
Donald Gleason.
Tyler's got the popcorn bucket. What are y'all doing here?
the end scene of the trailer where my name is Belinda. I'm like, that's how you're gonna end the trailer.
Tyler like walks down my stairs in his underwear with the popcorn bucket. It's like, what are you doing here, Tyler?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway. Oh my gosh. Here we go.
I like Catherine Hunter, by the way. The old lady from it. She was really good in the Tragedy of Macbeth.
Yeah.
She's in Andor.
Should be a lot of people in the theater hooting and hollering, rooting for her to meet her demise.
She was also good in Poor Things as well.
Next question. Ridley Scott said in a video message at Cine Europe that Gladiator 2 is, quote, well worth the wait. It's being heralded, I think, as the most expensive movie ever made. Meanwhile,
About $320 million.
Paramount's president of international theatrical distribution, Mark Vian, said it featured some of the, quote, biggest action sequences ever put on film. Are you hot or cold on Gladiator 2 potentially being the best sequel released in 2024? Conflicted, and cold. Let's start with Mr. Cold over here. Why are you selling all of your stock on Gladiator 2?
Because it ain't going to be as good as Dune 2. And I feel like there's too much build up for it. I feel like Ridley Scott himself has kind of lost his fastball. I'm not a fan of Paul Mescal. We'll see on Eddie.
So there's almost nothing you like about this.
Denzel is not what he was.
Isn't Pedro in it?
Pedro's in it. But the first one is also looked at as like a masterpiece by most people. I like it okay. But just not. I'm just not.
Which one of you three is the most conflicted? Let's talk it out.
I think people will go see it. I don't think it's gonna make a ton of money.
Also, Richard said bigger than Inside Out. Are you crazy? I would also say that. It's not as big as Inside Out.
I just think it's got a lot of. I think those are a lot of big names. I think people really like Pedro. I mean, you're gonna have people that like Stranger Things that are gonna go see Eddie. I call him After Sun. I know his name's Paul Mescal, but I mean, he's like a hot thing that he keeps getting cast and everything. So
it's coming out Thanksgiving, right?
I just don't.
I believe so.
I just don't know if people. I think so much time has passed. I don't know if people are gonna like rush out to see Gladiator 2.
Okay, we'll be seeing it, Tyler, for sure. You'll be there opening day.
Definitely.
I'll definitely be there opening day.
Is this something that'll get you in the theater? Gladiator 2?
I love Gladiator. It's just so much to live up to. That's why I'm just mixed on it. I don't know. No trailer's been released, I'm sure. No
but when it
teaser,
is-
nothing.
Which is weird, yeah.
Yeah.
When that trailer's released, which I've always said is going to happen around that Twisters Deadpool area, that's when they're going to release the marketing campaign for Gladiator 2.
The Twisters crowd will be big on this, I think.
Twisters crowd will be big on it, but I think the Deadpool and Wolverine crowd will be big on it too.
We talk about,
It's going to be a hard R.
speaking of Twisters, with Glenn Powell kind of being like the hot, quick flash in the pan right now, like Paul Mescal is that way. Joseph Quinn is that way. Pedro a little bit is that way. Like Denzel's not, but most of the big names in this are like the quick, they've done one thing, so we're going to cast them in every movie imaginable
And
right
they
now.
all have a ton of projects, and some of them with each other.
Some of them with each other, and none of them have actually come out, except Pedro. Pedro's done a little bit, but
and
like
Eddie will be in the Fantastic Four.
they're in Fantastic Four. We'll see what A Quiet Place is like. Paul Mescal's in a million things. It's just, let's hold off. Let's see what it's like.
A Spaceballs sequel's in development at Amazon MGM Studios. Josh Gad is attached to star as well as produce alongside Mel Brooks. Are you hot or cold on the idea of Spaceballs 2? Waiting on Rockstar, and I'm going to let him go first. Conflicted.
Yeah, because I don't. Is Josh Gad playing a version of Barf? Because I think he's going to be doing that. When I hear his name, I think he's going to play a son or a grandson of Barf.
But he's going to be
it does make
starring
sense.
in it. That tells me he's not going to be playing that role. That tells me he's going to be playing more of the...
John Candy was one of the stars.
I get it, but I mean, I think he's going to be the main driving...
And is this going to be one of those ones that's straight to Amazon Prime?
I think this will get a theatrical release, if I had to bet.
And Mel Brooks is, what, over 80?
What's a bigger movie, Spaceballs or Roadhouse?
Spaceballs is fantastic.
What's a bigger movie?
Yeah,
Like, in terms of IP?
the original two that in the grand scheme of things, what's a bigger movie?
Spaceballs, the flamethrower.
I would say
Spaceballs.
Roadhouse is, and it didn't go to theaters.
I don't know.
I know it's not a sequel; it's a remake, but
I don't know the answer right now. I'm thinking.
only because Spaceballs is obviously
I
just
will.
a Star Wars.
I will
parody.
attempt to watch it. I just don't. Oh God, because that's what 1987, 88.
What if I told you Rick Moranis will be in the movie?
I'm definitely going to see it.
Okay.
I think Rick Moranis.
I don't know if he's going to be in the movie.
I highly doubt
unlikely.
he'll be in the movie.
Dark
I'm just
Helmet.
saying.
That's why I went straight to goal.
Is Bill Pullman going to be in it?
Has to be.
Daphne Zuniga, is she going to be in it? Princess Vespa?
I think Bill Pullman will definitely be there.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to tell this. I'll see
John
it.
Candy ain't gonna be there.
If this is being billed as the return of Rick Moranis, there's going to be a lot more enthusiasm behind it. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Which it has not been yet. I just want to throw that out. Okay, last one. House of the Dragon star Olivia Cook disagreed with her showrunner, cutting a season 2 sex scene that was described as animalistic and carnal. Cook gave the supposed reasoning, saying, quote, "I think he said we weren't learning any more about the characters," which I disagree with slightly, but it's okay. It's his show. Are you hot or cold with House of the Dragon currently being the sexiest show on TV? Hot or cold on House of the Dragon being the sexiest show on TV currently? Cold.
I know. Yeah. I don't know who else is in the running.
Well,
I think
What are the
Bridgerton.
options?
Bridgerton would be up
yeah.
there.
technically, Euphoria is still a current show.
Bridgerton can be almost
Technically.
as racy as Euphoria at times. It's past season.
I don't watch
it's fun.
Bridgerton, but I hear good things.
Rockstar, one of your biggest complaints about Game of Thrones, the original run, was it was just overloaded with too much sexual content.
Not just sexual content, just the extent of the scenes. Like, we're not going to go. Should we shoot for 30 seconds here? We're going to do 5-minute scene. We're going to 5-minute scene. Yes, and
Got
we're
it.
going to add. People are just going to keep walking in.
Well, now
It's
they're
just like,
cutting sex scenes.
fine with me.
And you're good with that.
It does not hurt the story, the momentum of the story. You can
I think they-
you can have him taking Rhaena to a door, shutting the door, and like, okay, I can assume what's going
I think
on.
they like have tried to get away from that because of Game of Thrones. That's why they have intimacy coordinators. Like that's basically why that position exists now.
And I know it's only 11 episodes in, but it seems like it is way less.
Well, also
now
this
than Game of Thrones.
Even
was,
though in the
so.
first
I was gonna say-
episode there were multiple.
compared to last season, this season seems to activate Sir Christian.
But you never actually saw
That
anything.
no one wants. Like we don't want it.
That's not. I mean, yes and no.
I
So
mean,
you'd be
they were
okay-
doing things, but you never actually saw like the things you're not supposed to see.
Okay. So
You
if
definitely
your,
did in Game of Thrones.
if your parents walked, would you rather your parents walk in on you watching that first scene with them, with the Queen, or the final scene? The
final scene.
Exactly.
No, I'm not saying it didn't happen.
And that was more. The first scene was
I'm just
way
saying
more than
what
imagination.
what you see. You know, you can imagine things. Yes.
And I wore out my pause button. Because I was so insulted. I was trying to write a dirty
Pause
email.
and rewind. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way to properly segue, but I recommend you go to Grants Mill Road and visit with my dental professionals at
my.
Alabama Dental Associates. The segue I had did not work for this current setting. But these are the two that light my fire. Dr. Jeff and Dr. Brian. Like dragons, Laurel. Not like
I
that.
understood.
That was a mouthful,
No,
too.
Dr. Jeff and Dr. Brian over on Grants Mill Road. They have the flexible office hours that you're looking for, so you can visit them anytime you're not watching House of the Dragon, which they're not open on Sundays, so that shouldn't be something that ends up being a conflict. However, you can visit them on Saturdays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. They've got hours there for you. They're very convenient. They're also the most professional and the friendliest staff in all of the land. If you're ready to find that perfect dental team, reach out and try Alabama Dental Associates for yourself. They're accepting new patients now and can help you feel at ease about all of your upcoming dental procedures. For more information, call them 205-956-8977 or visit alabamadental.com as they look forward to seeing you. Once again, we almost have all seen the movie The Bikeriders, where over the course of a decade, a Midwestern motorcycle club evolves from a gathering place for local outsiders to a sinister gang threatening the original group's way of life. This has led me to wonder what it would be like to form the Meltdown Motorcycle Club. Everyone in this room and those in the chat, congratulations on becoming a motorcycle
We
club
made it.
member.
Oh, wow.
But
Look
let's
at
find
Jacket.
out who club president John Lunsford is also welcoming into the club with another edition of Luntz's List.
What is this? What is this? What's this? What's this? Oh, what is this? What is this? What's this? What's this? Oh, long since this to find, long since this to find, Long sleeves vest to buy. Long sleeves vest to buy.
All right, John, you are starting a motorcycle gang whether you want to or not.
Okay.
Pick the 5 individuals outside of the office that you believe would make a really solid addition to your new club. However, since you asked too many questions, there are some parameters. You cannot pick The Rock for any reason whatsoever.
I said this has to be people I know, or could I just pick a random celebrity like The Rock?
And what did I say? You cannot pick The
It's
Rock.
like you pick anybody but The Rock.
Anybody but The Rock now. You have to pick at
Sorry,
least
Dwayne. I tried.
at least one person that's a bruiser type of athlete.
Can't
You
be
have
The
to
Rock.
pick another person that is a notoriously trashy movie star.
Also can't be The Rock.
You have to be a person who has been. You have to pick a person who has been to prison but is now free.
I don't think The Rock's been in jail.
You have to
Yeah.
pick a person with noticeable tattoos.
The Rock.
Steve-O.
Which, when I wrote that, I was like, can't pick The Rock anymore. And then you have to pick a musician that produces music made for a great street fight soundtrack.
Maui.
So, John, how did you approach
You
this
didn't realize
list?
The Rock could actually go for all
The
these.
Rock could go for almost all of them.
So I kind of approached this from kind of a goofy standpoint because I'll be honest, I don't know a lot of rough and rowdy people to actually fit this.
That's what makes this perfect.
So most of these you're like, okay, that's stupid. And some of these people we've already mentioned today. And my number one, nobody knows who they are, but it's my personal pick to be my right-hand man, which is why they're number one. I'll also say I asked this because my number one was going to be my own dad, who is a motorcycle enthusiast and has a motorcycle, has a chopper and rides it and everything. But you said I had to pick all these different things. He does not fit these things. He is not a trashy movie star, has face tattoos, or has been to jail. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there, Dad. You would have been my number one. Anyway,
you need to rank these in order of least desirable to most desirable.
I put these in order of, like, my number one is like going to be my Austin Butler, like the one I can work with the most. And I kind of go down as far as like how important they are to
That's fair.
how I would run things.
Let's start with number 5. What category does
5.
this person fall under?
Trashy movie star.
Trashy movie star. Any guesses? Laurel, has he already told you who everybody is?
I was giving options. I said, who did I say earlier? Oh, okay. Then maybe I made it.
That means he's going to write it extra quick.
Charo.
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 Oh, yeah, this was mine.
Rockstar, have you ever been a part of a violent motorcycle gang before?
Why are you asking?
Okay, sorry.
I'm trying to picture anyone in this room on
I don't even think
on a
I've even. I
motorcycle.
don't even think
Can
I've
you picture
ridden
it?
on a motorcycle.
Channing Tatum.
He was a stripper. It's pretty trashy.
Well,
He
He's
just kind
fit.
of looks kind of trash. I mean,
And he
in a
I
good
mean,
way, I guess.
And
He
his
looks a
biggest
little
movie is
trashy.
being a stripper also. With Magic
Alabama
Mike.
guy.
Alabama guy, so he's local. But
He's part of the local chapter.
But he's fit. He can hold his own in a fight. You know, I think. I mean, even though obviously everything he does is very
Dance his way out of a
very
problem.
staged, and he's been a dancer a lot of
We
times.
are the
but,
motorcycle Magic Mikes now.
Yes.
That's what we are.
you know, I feel like people are like, oh, he's a stripper. He's actually soft. No, you know, I think Channing Tatum could hold his own. So
That's what she said.
Okay,
there you go.
next.
I'll leave it up for you. No, but I thought trashy movie star. First thing that came to mind was Charlie Sheen. I don't know why, but I thought he's too old. He'll break if he had to actually get into a fight. And Channing Tatum, I think, could be a pretty good option. And like I said, he's a local guy, so I don't have to go far to find him.
Channing Tatum there at the number 5 spot. One of the funniest scenes in recent memory on film.
Hateful Eight.
No.
Oh.
22 Jump Street. When
My name's Jeff.
my name is Jeff, which is basically all Jeff Roberts produced during Wednesday's edition of Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia. I mean, that was basically all I got from him. That was a correct answer. Anyway, hopefully he won't watch this. Let's go ahead and go to number 4.
look, there he is in the chat, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Let's go to number 4.
All right, number 4 is somebody who has been to prison but is currently free.
Is this
Martha
what I
Stewart.
chose? That's what I said.
I think. What'd you say?
Martha Stewart.
Okay, that's who it is. Number 4.
Is it really? Go ahead
That
and
was
write it
total
out.
joke.
Gosh. I
See
thought
her
this would
riding up
actually
on a
be,
hog on a crotch rocket.
I thought this would be
I
the
feel like
list.
she's actually hard. Like, she went to, like, real prison. You know, like, Khloe Kardashian, these other people were only in there for, like, you know, an hour. She was in there for a while.
And she's friends with Snoop Dogg, and she smokes marijuana.
Oh, yeah. And she was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Oh, badass. And she was a model before.
Y'all don't doubt Martha Stewart's hardness.
Yeah.
Plus,
Took a whole turkey in South Park.
what do these biker gangs do? Like, where are they set up? They're all set up in
Like
bars, right?
Home cooked meals.
Like, they all have a home bar, and who's going to do
Legitimately,
the-
this is a solid pick.
Yeah, like
It's
the
a-
cooking at
I
the
told
bar
you.
and restaurant and everything. It's going to be Martha Stewart. Somebody's got to take care of us.
There's a fight
She's gonna
next
be
door.
the
I
one.
want to learn. Martha's teach us how to make
Get
our
a
own
table-
glitter.
A tablecloth.
Martha Stewart is one of those that would pull a Joker, and when the gang of kids walks in and says we want to join, she'll snap the pool stick in half, throw it on the floor, and
Gosh,
say
hold
we're having
on.
tryouts.
By the way, Jeff Roberts is watching right
no.
now. And in response, he said, "Thanax." So that kind of backs up my whole "hello, my name is Jeff" thing. No, I'm just kidding. Jeff, you did wonderful.
Yes, you did.
brought,
Yeah,
You
good
brought
job, Jeff.
incredible energy to the show. Okay. Oh, gosh.
Now, somebody in the chat also said Lil Wayne checks a lot of these boxes. Lil Wayne is my honorable mention for musician, been to prison, and face tattoos. So
Yeah.
he is somebody I consider for a lot of these. Martha Stewart, not necessarily for a lot of these, but yeah, no, I think she'd be a perfect person, and she'd be the person that's like, hey, we want to join. It's like, go talk to Martha, and she does the Joker tryouts thing, and also I can see her slamming somebody's head on a pencil and be like,
Yeah.
get out of here. So
Steven said, when you rev the bikes, glitter shoots out the tailpipe. So
Oh, yeah.
there we go.
You may think it's a joke. We're not joking.
No. I mean, she really would be probably the most intimidating figure you could choose.
Yes.
All right. She's the type of person you wouldn't want as a high school principal. Does that make sense?
No. Oh no.
Okay. Let's go with number
She did some hard time, right? Oh, is it for taxes? Yeah, but no, she did some hard time.
Tyler looked at me today and we connected for the first time where he's like, yeah, you're right. Martha Stewart as a high school principal would be
Yeah.
real lame. Okay, let's go with number 3. What's the category?
Number 3, this will be the musician.
The musician that's joining the motorcycle gang.
Seal.
Oh, man. The ironic thing is Jeff was using Samba to send that message in.
Oh, no.
We appreciate it.
Wow.
Number 3, and I knew this was going to come up the minute I wrote the headline about the potential country album, because I'm like, I'm probably spoiling Lunce's list. This checks a lot of boxes.
Checks a lot of boxes.
Post Malone is a solid choice, John.
It's a good one.
So now he was going to be my face tattoo, and then all of a sudden I had like a, should have had a V8 moment with somebody I could put on there. But I was going to make him the face tattoo and have him collaborate also with musical numbers with who my musician was, who at first I had as Ozzy because they've actually done a collaboration already. I feel like, you get a little Black Sabbath in there and Post Malone, you can create some pretty good music for a biker gang. I had Lil Wayne also you could throw in there. I know that song they did together had Travis Scott in there, but there's a lot of people you could choose for music, but I thought Post Malone fits the bill of those who like country. I feel like a lot of people in biker gangs would like country. You could have that. For some people who just like rock, you have that. If you want some rap, he can do anything. He's a very
So you're
talented
picking this
musician.
for the musician compared to the person with noticeable tattoos.
Yes, this is the musician. I have another face tattoo.
Gotcha. I have a feeling I know who that is, but we will see. Is that what's coming up next with number 2?
That is number 2.
I'm guessing Mike Tyson.
It is Mike Tyson.
Okay. I thought, honestly, when I assigned this, I said, at least no one will be able to predict what direction John goes. And I think almost every one of them has been predicted so far. Number 2, Mike Tyson. As long as he's not having some sort of ulcer
Yeah, he's got
flare-up.
ulcers. He wouldn't be able to ride a bike right now.
Yeah. But if you're fighting against a bunch of, I think in the movie they're described as pinks. Is that right? Pinkies or something?
Pinkies.
Pinkos.
Pinkos.
Man, I would have lost that. Yeah, as long as you're fighting a bunch of pinkos.
Sounds like Tom Hardy
Hey,
there.
Plinko's best game on that show. I usually write some notes of like why I chose this person. For Mike Tyson, I just wrote, duh. And that could be your initiation when they come in instead of Martha Stewart breaking the pool stick and pulling the Joker scene with him. It's just like, hey, if you survive a punch from Mike Tyson, you're in. And Mike Tyson just decks him like he does in The Hangover. So, no, Mike Tyson, easy choice for face tattoo. Also could have been president. Also could have been, checked a lot of boxes on this list.
Mike Tyson does seem like the kind of guy that would grab a beer with somebody after beating them to a bloody pulp, which the Bikeriders taught us is a thing that happens.
Fit the bruiser athlete. He literally fits almost everything on this list.
Absolutely. Okay, so at number
He sang in
5,
The Hangover too, so he can fit the musician.
Did.
role.
this
He
is
did.
John's motorcycle gang, for those just joining us. Number 5, Channing Tatum. Number 4, Martha Stewart. Number 3, Post Malone. Number 2, Mike Tyson. So occasionally, El Presidente walks in
I was
here,
about to say.
and he looks at the board and tries to guess what the category is.
I was going to say the same thing.
And he normally is way off every time. Normally way off. And today it's going to be impossible for him to come in and guess what it is. There's no way he's going to be able to guess motorcycle gang. It's going to be like people who cook a mean ribeye. That's going to be it probably. But let's go with number 1, unless you have any honorable mentions you'd like to go ahead and throw out.
So number 1, I got to remember how to spell his name. It's a tough last name. Musician, I mentioned I had Ozzy Osbourne. Been to prison. Lil Wayne, also musician, also face tattoo. I mentioned Charlie Sheen. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, number 1. This is the bruiser athlete position. This was one of my favorite players to watch. He's now retired because of too many injuries. But this is the person that'll be my right-hand man. None of y'all know who he is, except Laurel, because I've mentioned him since name a lot at home. But anyway, this is it. You probably don't remember his name.
I feel like he's setting you up. Did you say Steve from Blue's Clues? Number 1.
Mike.
Wazowski?
Wazowski?
I don't even know how you pronounce that.
No one predicted this one.
I wrote Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
I was still looking at Mike Tyson.
I still don't know who that is.
We just had a Carolina Reaper moment of the day.
I was still looking at Mike Tyson when I wrote it. All right. Mark Borowiecki is a former Preds defenseman. He played for the Senators for a long time, then played for the Preds. He was, I'm not going to say full-on enforcer, but he was a defenseman who would lay people out. He's missing his 2 front teeth, so he has that intimidating look that a hockey defenseman has. But he is like the absolute nicest dude off the ice. But the minute that skate steps on the ice, a switch flips, and he will just absolutely destroy you. He'll get into fights. He'll do everything.
He's the water boy.
Everything a typical hockey defenseman you would think of would do. Steps off the ice. He has all these charities he does. He still does a ton of work with Nashville. He's like a super nice guy. He would 100% be my closest confidant that I could get along with, and I would eventually pass the club on to, even though he's 2 years older than me, I think. But I would pass the club on to him if he was my young ward.
Unless he wanted to challenge you to take
Unless
it.
he wanted to challenge me.
Give it
You can have
to him.
6 then too. Or what was it he had? They said knives or what was it?
Knives or fists.
Yeah.
Knives or fists.
Let's say that on Wednesday.
But anyway,
So
nobody
the
knows who
guy
he
brought
is.
both. He had a brass knuckle and a knife.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who he is. I'm going to see if I can find a picture real quick of him because you look at him and it's a little different story. And his nickname is Borocop because he was out shopping for baby food for his young baby and stopped somebody who's like trying to steal a purse and like grabbed him and beat him up and sent the purse back and everything. So he can make it happen. This is his picture. Let's save this and I'll put it up real quick. Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
Will you go see it?
No.
No.
Don't go see the Bike Riders.
That's Mark.
I
That's
get
Mark.
little time to get outside.
What if you did and then you're like, this movie was
This
really
is
good?
Yeah, this is almost good as Harley Davidson, the Marlboro Man.
That's Mark Borowiecki. He is missing his 2 front teeth in his press photo where he's smiling there. But yeah.
He looks like a mix between Rockstar and our friend Brian Brenton. Kind of got like that,
He does.
that vibe to him.
He does. Y'all do actually look kind of alike. If you just were missing your 2 front teeth,
Fine.
you look kind of like him.
That's fine.
Anyway,
Can you look
tough
at the
dude.
camera right now and just smile as big as you can. But look right at the camera, and then Tyler, can you punch up Rockstar's camera? And then let's do a comparison shot here. I'm producing on the fly, unfortunately. Okay, we're getting the zoom in here. Keep holding it.
I mean, I kind of see it.
It's similar. I mean, they could be in the movie Twins, and people would believe it.
I didn't say identical twins.
All right, I'm going to give you a Sharpie now, and can you paint your 2 front teeth? All right, Brian Pavlik says number 5, Nick Cage, entire panel, and we will see you again next week. It's going to be a week full of fun here on the Meltdown with a championship round of Meltdown Triple Threat Tag Team Tornado Trivia. It's happening on Wednesday. You won't want to miss it right here on this lovely channel. Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend ahead.